So hello from Wannabe Overlander YouTube channel. This video is going to be a little bit different, and as a previous video I talk about a lot of things is happening in this project.
I'm from Finland.
Volkswagen VW Syncro.
I am Sami and I want to be Overlander. This is my ego.
I have so many things unfinished and started but not completed, so there is not the kind of progress in the videos. If I start the one thing, I could not finish it because I have missing parts and etc. So my plan is now I'm going to have a little bit break for the videos during the summertime. I don't know, couple of months perhaps, but I'm going to filming this project anyway, so there is going to be videos in autumn or following winter when this car, I hope so, is ready for driving, for test drive. I get the fuel pump and the fuel nozzles back from the diesel shop, and they rebuilt complete my fuel pump. You will see that when I start to assembling the engine back together. But I don't get the engine block yet back from the machining shop. They're waiting those bushings for the piston rods. When I get the engine back, I can start to assembling engine back together. But right now I'm going to rebuild this propeller shaft. This is complete, undone, unstarted project, and I have from Allrad Bus, if I remember correct that company name, I have about all of parts. Perhaps some bolts is still missing. I'm not sure. Could I reuse these bolts? This comes to this end gearbox I need to order, but everything else I should have here. The bearings and the joints, grease and bushings, end, front end and rear end, and this is the new style vibrating damper to replace this original one. And there is obviously missing something. If you see, there is rubber torn out, so, and this dust cover here also missing. It's a little bit different structure. That's it about here. I could show perhaps a little bit something what I do with this. I'm not sure yet how I could take off this rust here. Perhaps I'm just brushing it a little bit and spray something, because it's not get corroded so bad. And this part also, there is a lot of some dirt. I'm going to take some pictures here so I can remember which is the correct way to put this back together. Transmission oil, I like to talk to you a little bit. There is many different brands, and perhaps another brands also could have usable. But I get this information some Volkswagen forums. This Cell Spirax S4 G75W90 oil is perfect choose Viscous that you could get from everywhere, but this is a correct one for the T4, and with another oil there is lots of issues with smooth shifting, so this oil don't ruin your shifting. And I have Viscous coupling, rebuild it in the Andreas Kern, if I remember correct, from Austria. So if I fix this propeller shaft together, I could install it first the Viscous coupling to the rear diff, and then this propeller shaft, except the front piece, should install when the engine is on the place. The central piece and rear end could install because there is those support bearings. I weighed some cup holders to my dashboard and etc. So I could not install the dashboard back together to car also yet, but that's going to be in the later autumn, and then car could go to test drive. And these joints, you could listen, they are quite worn and it's not turned smooth anymore. And this bearing, there is slack, and listen the voice. There's not grease anymore. So this is the good time to maintain this. You could use this homemade tool to open this propeller shaft center bolt. It's quite tight. This tool definitely helps you a lot. There is this kind of bolt and lots of treat locking. Yeah, let's see. Can I take off this flange? Is it how tight? First one is going off. It was very tight. Now I should mark this position, but I don't know how I do it. I think it's never mind, they're balancing it anyway. Now we have tier of those bearing support brackets, and now I'm going to pull off this bearing. I take the first one off already with this tool. I lock the bearing here and then take this puller and I use some nut here as a collar. Now it's tightening. Yeah, now it snaps and starts to coming off. Yeah, bearing off. 400k. So the bearing is inside this kind of housing, but the inside is just a regular bearing. You see what happens to crease if you've driven 30 years, 400,000k and never maintain anything. So this is quite stuck. I don't marking anything what position because everything are going to change, so this need to rebalancing anyway. I don't know how tight this is, this joint. Yeah, it moves actually easy. Release the rubber. Good. So now it should come off easy. Yeah, it's off. Actually, we could see the part number here and Lebro 2395 Germany. So this is made in the week 23 and this is original, absolutely. I made this homemade tool. Actually, this tool is the Biltema tool what I used earlier, but I need to weld here some washer and nut inside, so I'm able to pull this out. I have new these sleeves and I want to change those, and this is very tricky to take out. This way it comes off every time I turn. So just use your imagination. Now everything is unbalanced because I clean this rust off and smashing these parts, sanding with some paper a little bit more, and there I couldn't take rust off yet, but I use another small brush. I'm going to spray end of the shafts. I leave for the balancing the central parts without the color. And guess what color we use? We use again semi-gloss RAW 9005, but as you see I don't paint the tubes because they need to rebalancing it. Okay, that's it. I don't paint this more than that. And tomorrow I take this balancing. First I need to put some parts back together. So now there is a new shaft and bushing, and I managed to install it with the large socket and the final depth with this kind of collar. This for my body bench tools. This end needs to be 15 millimeter out, and the rear shaft it's 24 millimeter. 60 newton meters Loctite 270. Yeah, it's not feel like very tight. It's a small bolt, but it was very tight to open because the Loctite. And then the other end, there was a lot of Loctite from the factory. It was the whole shaft covered with. That's it. There's no seal, so I need to put the silicone, just a thin layer, just like that. Then put the cap on. Circlip in the position and this cover. And I'm going to put the bolts here because I cannot install this yet to the shaft because it's too long to carry with my car. I bolt this together so the silicone seal could dry together. There is a minor fitting issue here. I got a little bit grind here because that's dust cover have round edges and these clips have sharp edges. Just take out this sharp edge, just a bit softening edges. So now we could see how it sits there. I think it's fine. Now we could roll this so the grease could go everywhere. And then tightening the clamp and this first piece is ready. I'm almost ready. I just need to bolt this together with the middle section of the shaft and clamping this clamp. And I have a 1 hour time before they close that company. I need to take it today there. So I'm a little bit busy, but I think the clamp is fine now. I don't have bolts here. I not want to turn this much, but I could little bit turn. I need the crease go. And this is the center piece. Yeah, and I don't have any markings here because everything is new and unbalanced. That's why I need to take this to balance it. Syncro manual say this torque is 30 Newton meters, but Outr bus website say it's 40. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use. I think if I have 3 clock and I just tightening to 30 Newton meter, I think it's gonna be fine. 10% extra, 33, that's fine. 30 Newton meter, it's not really much. This already marked those bolts, it's already tightened. Let's check all. Yeah, that's it. So this is my Viscous coupling from Austria, Andreas Kern. And I have to check a little bit those bolts because I get the bolts couple of different dimensions. This is the bolt set. But the problem is the longer bolts are 8.8 grade bolts and original bolts all was 10.9 grade, and I think this one, the longer one, was the Visco, but no. And wow, this is looking nice. Yeah, it's like a brand new. This side goes to the propeller shaft. The longer bolt is quite okay, but the shorter bolt, it's not come out enough from the treats. And what about another way? If I put another way, yeah, it should be the shorter one goes to Visco instead of steel treats or aluminum treats. Then check the original. They're a bit different. This bolt is same length, but with this new coupling, it's not long enough. I think so. But how is possible? This is same length, but this is shorter. These are original bolts, and this new bolt is a bit bigger, longer. But okay, that can think later. They can balancing with this. So let's take this to balancing. I'm a little bit busy now, and see you. So here we are. Let's go see if they still open. So that went quite nice. I don't know what is named. They don't need that front rubber joint. I don't have it yet. I got this package from Germany. I ordered it from eBay. Let's see what I get. I think this is the cup holder. Yeah. It needs to wash. I'm trying to fit this to the dashboard. Some guys have installed this one here above the glove box. Is there a place for that? Because there is this box unit, perhaps that could move, or is there a place just put it here? Perhaps without this module it could be here. So I'm coming to Juvan Malmi to take my propeller shaft back from the balancing, and oh, here is a nice car. I think this is a 60 Impala or something like that, Chevy. here 60. And you might remember I have a sibling model from this car. I have a 59 Cadillac. Let's see how expensive the propeller shaft will be. Yeah, it is here. So they spray some thin layer coating here. Perhaps I need to put a little bit extra layers there. So, and they mark all those places so I could install it back to same position. Here is the balancing mark, one bolt and this bolt should go together. Yeah, and they said they're a little bit straightening that shaft. I'm not sure which piece, perhaps the center piece, and then balancing it, because otherwise it would take too much weight. Now it's straight and balancing with the minimum ballast. That's it. So let's go back to home garage. Cardan shaft is now back in the home garage, and I think they make anything nice work. It was 160 euros for balancing these three pieces propeller shaft, and 90 euros for straightening the middle section, because there was a little bit bend, and now it should be straight. They used the heat for the straightening, but they did one thing which I didn't ask them to do. They spray some color here, so it's nice, but I didn't want it because I could not know what kind of color they use. Is it some kind of direct to metal paint or what kind it is? So I'm going to test do the color attach here, otherwise I need to wash off the color. I could use some kind of packaging tape here to check do the color stick together, and then I try does it tear off. It seems to be not to tear off. I could use another tape also. This is some kind of stress test for the paint, so if it's not come off with the sticker, I could use also this decreasing solvent. I'm not use a color thinner, but I try this decreasing solvent. If the color don't melt, I think it's proper color. I'm not need to worry about too much. I'm just spray here a little bit extra layers. Only thing is, I don't know is there a corrosion protection, but if they say they spray the color for the corrosion protection, it should be some kind of direct to metal black. So actually I could see here a little bit overspray, and if there is a hint of red color, perhaps they use some kind of adhesion primer. I could test this how the thick layer is. I would like to say I would want to have at least 80 micrometers. Yeah, this bigger tube have quite a thin layer. I should spray it more. And what about here? 35, 69, 78, 57. I could spray a little bit more extra in that section and perhaps there. Of course, that point you could use another color. I see some guys painting yellow or red or anything else, those shafts, but for what? It's spinning on the car and it gets hit from the stone. Fully functionality is the main goal. So in this piece there is so thin layer. I'm going to spray there more layers. Perhaps I could not get there 100 microns, but anything extra here is make it stronger. And this is not effect to the balancing, it's so lightweight. So I'm going to end this video here. I'm not going to have new videos quite soon. Here I see something which they're working. I think they cleaned off the old weights and for balancing. There is not coming new videos quite soon. I have a little bit break with the videos. I need to get the progress with this car. Couple of months break, I'm not sure yet. But then we are going to have a test drive. I'm quite optimistic, as you see. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and remember, it costs nothing. It helps to improve my channel with the algorithms, because I'm struggling to get more subscribers. So I'm very pleased for everyone new. See you in couple of months.
Thank you for watching and see you in next episode.
So I forget to say about cost of this propeller shaft. If I remember correct, Allrad bus parts was 850 euros, 250 euros for balancing, and that front rack joint nearly 100 euros. Perhaps I can say it's a 1200 euro propeller shaft.